Alright, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back here today to Just Ballin', and today we are going to react to the Ringer.com's new top 100 players in the NBA ranking. They just updated this January 16th. Hopefully you guys are able to see or listen to this on January 16th, but we're going to react to it and kind of give my opinions. Yeah, we're just going to basically go through 100 to 1, what I agree with, what I disagree with. They updated this for the first time since December 11th. I guess they're doing this every month, and it is cool on the timeline. If you guys are watching on YouTube, it's a little bit easier to follow along where you could see where they've gone up or down over time. So we could just hop right into this. It was a crazy night in the NBA last night. Knicks Sixers overtime was an electric game. Timberwolves Warriors electric game as well. That was the second ESPN game. The Clippers beat the Nets by 59. Mark Williams had a monster performance. So yeah, it was a fun NBA night for sure. We got some good college basketball tonight. Hopefully my Temple Owls can be storming the court. They're going up against ranked Memphis at home. So let's hop right into this. We got Russell Westbrook at number 100. Honestly, he may be higher than that this year. The way that Russell Westbrook is playing, I'm just glad that we're seeing Russell Westbrook back into a top 100 ranking, and I'm enjoying watching Russell Westbrook play. Is he a perfect player again? No, he's not. He never was, but he is somebody that is just going to try his ass off. He's going to give 110% every play, no matter the score. You could be up by 30 in the fourth quarter, you could be down by 30, and he's always going to give like a shit. And that's what I care about, man. That's what I like to see. Not bad body language out there. This man is in I forget what year he's in, but he's 36 years old. He hasn't really been respected in a couple years during his time in Los Angeles from both teams. And everybody was like, $3 million for Russ. Might be time to call it quits soon. No, he has been the second most important Nugget this year, which is crazy to say. After Jokic, it may actually be Russ, which honestly, shout out to Russ this year, man. Got a couple triple doubles, averaging 16 points. I'm a Russ fan this year. I think he's helping the Nuggets out a ton, and that's looking like a steal. A pickup, and him and Jokic have had a great two-man game. Next up, we have Chris Paul, who looks like he started off at 80 during the draft. Now, I guess that was before he was a Spur. Then he was 100. Then he dropped off. Now he's at 99. I think Chris Paul's the top 100 player. I think he may be the second best Spur this year. I mean, like, Spurs fans, you could probably disagree with that. Like, you may give that to Vassell or Shohan still when he's been healthy, or maybe Castle defensively. But outside of Wemby, I think Chris Paul has been one of the more important players to this team this year and has been probably the leader in the locker room, especially with Greg Popovich and his health scares this year. And Chris Paul has been the veteran, and he had a cool play the other night. It was against the Grizzlies where Zach Edey and him were kind of going for a loose ball. It was about to be a jump ball, and then Chris Paul just grabs Wemby's hands and throws it on Edey, so then Wemby can do the jump ball. And it's just the smart basketball plays that you see from Chris Paul. Next up at 98, we have Dillon Brooks, who's been around this range all year. It's really tough to kind of say Dillon Brooks is the 98th best player until we get to guys ahead of this. Maybe I would take Dillon Brooks over them. We kind of know what he is as well. He's going to care. He's going to play defense. He's got the confidence on that end, which you need if you're not going to be like this great shot creator. And for somebody that he's embraced the villain role over years, but he's okay being, you know what, I'm going to focus all my effort on defense, and I'm going to stop and try to clamp up the other team's best player. It could be their guard, could be their big man. I don't care who it is. I'm going to try to defend him. And that's what I do appreciate about Dillon Brooks' game over there in Houston. 97, we have Caris LeVert. I'll be wrong about my Caris LeVert offseason takes. It's his first time hitting this top 100. I did not like Caris LeVert as the sixth man going into this year. That's why I was like, Cleveland should draft Tristan Da Silva or Jalen Tyson. And maybe Caris LeVert isn't going to be on this team in 3-4 years from now, and Jalen Tyson will be in the Caris LeVert role. But I just thought Caris LeVert was a little bit inefficient off the bench. He wasn't a great kind of playmaker. He was always score first, shoot first, and that is his role as a sixth man coming off the bench, but he's been a lot more efficient this year. He's 30 years old, which is making me feel old. Like, he was drafted, what, 2016? I guess he was a little bit older coming out of Michigan. But yeah, Caris LeVert being 30 years old, like I said, is making me feel old. 96, we have Benedict Mathurin, who is dropping a little bit. He peaked this year at 91, got off to a great start. Has been, I think, inconsistent a little bit with his offensive shot, but he's been a good player overall this year for Indiana. They've had a lot of inconsistencies on the offensive side of the ball. Either it's, I mean, Siakam's been pretty consistent, but you could say Halliburton's been inconsistent. Nembhard, but now Nembhard's good after the injury. Myles Turner's been inconsistent. But Benedict Mathurin, who I think just got suspended. I mean, that technical foul call against the Cavs, which it was whack. Like, what are we doing? 95, Brook Lopez falling off a little bit. Damn, he was number 70 in October to start off the year. He's dropping off a little bit. Yeah, Brook Lopez is getting up there in age. He does have 1 year left on his deal. I do wonder, at 36 years old, is this going to be his last year? And oh, also I could have seen the Russ before. Season 16 for Russ. They also have that. I didn't even notice that. But yeah, Brook Lopez, season 16, 36 years old as well. Still a fine defender, but not what he used to be in his early Milwaukee Bucks days, and you do wonder if this is going to be the end, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's traded at the deadline, because they can use that matching salary to get in a bigger trade. Tari Eason, 94. Okay, I actually haven't been able to look at like Tari Eason's last offensive games, and his efficiency has taken a little bit of a hit to his like really good start in the beginning of the year. He's still shooting 47% from the field. He's shooting 31% from three. It's just you're valuing the defense. And I know it's weird. Like, I guess Rockets fans can let me know. Do you think Dillon Brooks or Tari Eason is better right now? Because you can kind of compare them. I would say right now, probably Dillon Brooks is better, but it's close. It's just Eason, obviously, you're a lot more excited about because of the upside and he's younger. Jakob Poeltl being at 93 seems kind of low. He's dropped 5 spots from the last update. He's another guy I just kind of want to see like the trends it's been for him. Just, yeah, it seems kind of low. We'll see what other centers they have ahead of him. He's averaging 15 points this year, about 10 rebounds. And if I drop this, oh, okay, it'll actually show me the stats. There we go. The more you know. And we'll see what centers are ahead of him. But yeah, he's dropped a little bit. Jaden McDaniels at 92. This is purely on defense. I don't know, man. I'm not the biggest Jaden McDaniels fan offensively. I was a big Jaden McDaniels fan coming out of Washington. I had high expectations for him after that 2023 contract extension. And I think it's like, yeah, like he never really progressed offensively. He's been a below average shooter since he signed that contract, which is kind of a shame. But he's obviously going to give you top-rated defense. It's like, do you value his like on-ball perimeter defense, Eason's, or Brooks? I don't know, man. What is Brooks? Like, Brooks is going to at least be able to shoot the ball a little bit better. And I know McDaniels may have a little bit more range to his defensive ability, but I think I'm taking Dillon Brooks over Jaden McDaniels right now. I don't know if that's a hot take. DeAndre Hunter at 91. Shout out to him having kind of like a year 5 breakout, or year... Is he? I thought he was year 6. Is it year 5 for him? Or do they have these years off? Okay, they have... So, when you see years... No, like, it says season 5, so they haven't updated that. This is year 6. So, for Russ, this is actually year 17, so they're off by a year there. Okay, well, glad I figured that out on my own. But yeah, DeAndre Hunter, he has been good this year. It's his first time, cracking this top 100, and we're seeing a little bit of that year 6 breakout, which is nice, because you were kind of going to Hunter, like, I'm on Hunter's page right now. His contract... like $21 million, 23, 24. Before this year, you're like, this is one of the more overpaid players in the league. And now this is looking like a pretty good deal. The thing is, can he stay healthy? He's hurt right now with a foot injury, and he's missed a lot of time, a lot of games in his NBA career. Number 90, we got Anfernee Simons. Might be a little high. There's some guys after Anfernee Simons I'm taking. Like, I'm taking DeAndre Hunter over Anfernee Simons right now. Potential is different for sure, but I'm taking Hunter. I'm probably taking Dillon Brooks over Anfernee Simons. I might even take Jakob Poeltl and Tari Eason. Like, I know Simons can put the ball in the hoop, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate his shooting. But I'm going to value defense here. I'm going to value fit on my team. If I'm building a team from scratch, yeah, I'd probably want Simons over those guys. But I think right now, I think it's tough with the defensive ability. Speaking of defensive ability, we have PJ Washington just molded into a 3-and-D beast. And I did not like him in Charlotte. I was not a fan there, but they've really changed my viewpoint on PJ Washington over there in Dallas. And I'm excited to see his offensive game kind of recover a little bit when Kyrie's like fully back healthy. I know he came back recently, and when Luka Doncic is fully back healthy, and he's going to be able to be in the dunker spot a lot, work at the pick and roll with Luka, and Luka's just going to make everybody better. I'm excited to watch Mavericks basketball when Luka's back, because you just appreciate the attention Luka drives from the defense to like around himself, and then that makes everybody else's life easier. And he still has one of the best like just eyes as the point guard or just as a player in the league. And I know that it's been fun to see like who's going to step up for the Mavericks tonight. Is it going to be Clay or Grimes or Hardy or Washington or one of these guys? Gafford stepped up the other night, and last night against the Pelicans. They should have won that game. That was a goaltending. But I'm excited to see Luka back in Dallas. Number 88, speaking of Dallas, we have Dereck Lively. Okay, so I assume they're going to have Gafford ahead of Lively. I think Lively's pretty much standard this year to what he's been doing, like what he did last year. And I think that's fine. And I'm excited to see, I mean, he's still 20 years old. And I'm excited to see his game continue when Luka's back. Is Lively better than Jakob Poeltl? I think that's an interesting debate. It is. Next up, 87, we have Lu Dort. 3-and-D, basically the pinnacle of what that means. And he's coming in at number 87 on the year. I mean, the Thunder have had their fair share of injuries, and Lu Dort's been a staple offensive guy for them this year. I think he's been a little bit more consistent than like Isaiah Joe shooting the ball. Austin Reaves, 86. Now, funny enough, like I think ESPN had Austin Reaves ahead of Cade Cunningham going into the year. I could be wrong, but that sounds right. And Reaves has been good as of late. He has been. He's jumped up 6 spots here. I wonder if you would actually be able to put Reaves any higher, because Reaves, man, he's been killing it as a point guard as of late. He has been. You look at, we can honestly just pull up this random sample size here. So over Reaves' last 12 games, 44, 37, 84 splits, 19, basically 20 points and 8 assists. Reaves is taking it up a notch. He's playing 37 minutes a night. Hopefully this continues under JJ Redick here, but I think we're getting the best version of Reaves we've ever seen. Myles Turner at 85, so it seems like he's fallen off a little bit. He peaked this year at 75. His offensive game is still staying consistent. Like, he's still a good three-point shooter on good volume. He's still a good rim protector in this league, and I'm surprised, like, Myles Turner and the Pacers have not agreed on a contract extension. Like, he's one of the longest tenured players for a team in the league. Like, you have Steph. I think he might be number 2, right? No, that's a lie. Because he was drafted 2015. You have Jokic and Embiid in 2014. Because 2013, Gobert now got traded. McCollum's not on the same team. 12, like, AD. I don't think anybody from the 12 draft class. Because, yeah, or Clay was 11 and Clay's gone. AD, no. Oh, Draymond from 2012. But yeah, he's playing on a 1-year deal, which is kind of weird. Something to keep an eye on there. 84, Payton Pritchard. We have Curry at home. Does that seem high? I don't know if there's a Boston bias there. Let's see. Payton Pritchard or Austin Reaves? It's tough. I would like to see what Pritchard could look like with that volume and that load. But Pritchard has been great this year. Don't get me wrong. Is he better than Myles Turner? I could say Pritchard's better than Dort. Sure. Lively. Sure. I don't know, though. Might be a little bit Celtics bias. I don't know. I guess you could. That'd be fun. I might put out a poll, actually. Like, Payton Pritchard or Austin Reaves. CJ McCollum coming in at 83, who's been a very good offensive player. And I'm intrigued to see what New Orleans does when Brandon Ingram comes back with their rotation. We'll see if he gets to play the same time Zion Williamson. Are we ever going to get that? But Trey Murphy's been a bucket. I mean, CJ McCollum has been one of the best shooters in the league over his last 23 games. He's shooting 36% from 3 on 8 attempts. Maybe not one of the best in the league, but or I can maybe pull up this random sample size because he's cooled off the last 3 games with this shot. Of course, when I started like betting on CJ McCollum, the guy forgets how to shoot. But yeah, see, I don't know if this is gonna look, but CJ McCollum's been a bucket. Like coming in at 83. I wonder who they move to the bench. Will they move CJ? Will they move? They can't move Murphy. Beal at 82. You gave up all those pick swaps for a man that has a no trade clause that's making max money. He's coming in at 82. It's a shame. It really is. 81. We have Cam Johnson, who I feel like we haven't. When was the last time Cam Johnson played? It's been, or maybe he just came back. He just came back. Yeah, against Portland. 24 points, and that was the game. Yeah, Scoot Henderson had a good game there. But Cam Johnson, we'll see if he's gonna get traded at one point. He's up 17 spots. Damn, Beal was 63 going to the year. Now he's at 82. Naz Reed at 80. Does this feel high for Naz Reed? I mean, I don't have to pull up Naz Reed's numbers, but I feel like this is a little high. There's a lot of guys behind Naz Reed. I'm taking Cam Johnson over Naz Reed for sure. Alex Caruso, man, I appreciate the defense, but the offense has been garbage this year. And that might be nice saying it's just garbage. And his 3-point shots, like, struggled a ton. He's been hurt. He's so good at defense, but so is McDaniels, Brooks, and Eason. I think Caruso's a little high here. He peaked at 61. Brandon Miller at 78. Okay. I'm not gonna like dig too deep into Miller. Like, I don't know. Like, when you watch Hornets basketball, there's not a lot of guys that can get going, and he's asked to do a ton out there. And I still feel like they're trying to figure out what their identity is going forward. Because this year it looks like they're going to be at the bottom again. Josh Hart, the best rebounding small guy in the league. He's 6'5". He averages 9.5 rebounds a game. He's had a couple triple doubles this year, and he's like kind of somebody like Russell Westbrook. And I think he's not as athletic as Russ ever was. Like, God, no. But Josh Hart gives a crap every second of the game, which makes me love watching Josh Hart on my favorite basketball team. Number 76, we have Nikola Vucevic, who's been basically Pete Karl-Anthony Towns shooting the ball this year. 43% from 3. Hello. He's been good. Ivica Zubac, 75. Is he that many spots better than Myles Turner? I don't know. I don't really think so this year. Zubac is good. I just think Turner maybe should be a little bit higher because I like his defense still. Herb Jones, for his defense, coming in at number 74. I don't know. Maybe some guys behind him that I would take, but I feel like they're inconsistent where they're valuing this defense. But I hope to see Herb Jones fully healthy throughout the rest of the year. Speaking of defense, Amen Thompson, who's been so much fun to watch as of late, and that makes me think they should trade Fred VanVleet for Jimmy Butler, and you let Amen Thompson start at your point guard spot, because this man is just an on-ball threat. He is a stud on the defensive end of the floor. You have Devin Vassell, who I think is way too high here at 72. He's actually stayed the same. Have they watched Vassell lately? I don't know. I don't think he's playing like a top 72 guy. Like Amen Thompson is better than Devin Vassell. Herb Jones is better than Devin Vassell. Yeah, I think we're just seeing him struggle offensively. Trey Murphy, I think should be a little bit higher than this. He's averaging 21 points on the year, 60% true shooting, and it's looked great since he's come back from injury. I've been loving Trey Murphy, and they're saying with the floor of a 3-and-D role player, okay, and the ceiling of a two-way star, yeah, I think he's getting closer to the two-way star ability, which is sick, honestly, and makes me think I don't want to see Brandon Ingram or Zion on this team. I want to see Trey Murphy and Herb Jones run the show. Well, Trey Murphy run the show. Herb Jones doesn't have that offensive skill yet to carry that big of a workload. Kobe White at 70. Who's maybe not been as impressive this year, but honestly, it's pretty close to last year. It's just last year, he exceeded everyone's expectations, and now he's been around expectations this year. So let's get here into the top 60. Fred VanVleet at 69. I don't think Fred VanVleet has been playing like a top 70 guy this year, so I kind of disagree with that. Trey Murphy should be ahead of Fred VanVleet in my opinion. RJ Barrett, who's been good this year. I'm surprised he's gone down since the last one. I don't know if that's just guys passing him, but I think RJ's done honestly a fine job carrying the workload he has. He's one of the only guys that can create his own shot. See, like Dyson Daniels at 67, he's actually gone up. Like, I appreciate Dyson Daniels this year for sure, but he's still relatively inefficient. The defense is great. He's probably going to be on all defensive first team. It's just, is he that much different than Amen Thompson, Herb Jones, and some of the other defenders? I agree. I think I would have Trey Murphy better than Dyson Daniels. I just want to see where we're valuing the defense, because I think Trey Murphy better than Michael Porter Jr., who's coming in at 66. And Michael Porter Jr. is good, and I'm fine with him being this high. I just think Trey Murphy could be a little bit higher, but maybe they want to see a little bit more. Brandon Ingram at 65. He's been hurt. He's going to drop 9 spots here. Season number 9 also makes me feel kind of old. I wonder what team he's going to be on. I really do, because if he's on the Pelicans after the deadline, that is crazy. We got a run of Pelicans here. We got DeJounte Murray at 64. He had a good game against the Mavericks, but he's been very inconsistent this year and has been inefficient, and all the reasons I don't like DeJounte Murray have kind of been on display this year, but I think he has been a little bit better defensively in New Orleans, and he's also surrounded by better defenders, so that definitely helps. Isaiah Hartenstein coming in at 63. Oh, that hurts me as a Knicks fan. He's like an elite rebounder, great floater inside, amazing screen setter, but it's unfortunate he just got hurt again. Julius Randle at 62. Where did he start at? 45 last summer, and then 52, and now he's down 10 spots. Like I've been saying for a lot of these guys, I wonder what team Julius Randle's going to be on after the deadline. I like watching the Warriors-Wolves game. Oh my God, man. I'm not a big fan of Randle. I never was. And then that period in January for the Knicks last year, like the last time I ever saw him for the Knicks, it was such a good period in New York, and he got off to such a bad start in that 2024 season for the Knicks, and he got so much better before he had the season-ending shoulder injury, and the Knicks were playing the best basketball. Like, before he went down, oh my God, you can actually probably pull off an insane sample size. Randall's final 31 games of his Knicks tenure, 26, 5, and 9, 51, 33, 83 splits. Yeah, that's going to leave a good taste in my mouth. Pause. All right. And it's a shame. I was upset when they traded him, but watching him last night, the body language, the fit, the defensive, like not having any defensive awareness at times, it doesn't make me miss him. Jalen Suggs coming in at 61. Obviously another guy that helps out a ton with his defense. His three-point shot's been a little bit down this year, but he's also dealt with some injuries. Notably the back one that just flared up. We have Aaron Gordon this year, who's been banged up. I think this is also kind of a product of Nikola Jokic. There's a lot of guys after Aaron Gordon I'm taking over him, for sure. For sure. And I think in modern day, like I'm cool with Hartenstein over Gordon. And I know Gordon's done it for a little bit longer, but there's some other guys as well. Like I'm probably taking Brandon Ingram over Aaron Gordon, but I guess like you're worrying about fit and everything. But then why is, what was my fit thing before? Was it Payton Pritchard? No, it was Anfernee Simons. I felt like was a little bit too high before. So we are now on number 59, Mikal Bridges. All right. As a Knicks fan, I feel like I'd be a little bit biased. I don't know if he's been a top 60 guy this year because the defense hasn't been as good as it has been in the past for him. And it has been better as of late. Like he got off to kind of a rough start, and I think the Knicks are switching a little bit more, and they are playing a little bit more like hedging up defense, and they're not sagging off for 3-point shots, and that has been a little bit better. His shot has been a little inconsistent this year. I don't know if I would have him at 59. He was 64 last, so he's actually going up a little bit, which I get. Was 44 going into the year. DeMar DeRozan at 58. It looks like he is kind of free falling a little bit. Yeah, this is pretty much the DeMar DeRozan I think we all expected. A little bit less scoring volume, now playing with Sabonis and Fox, but could still have a great mid-range jumper. Heartbreaking. The worst player Shaq knows is also one of the most influential defenders in NBA history. That is talking about Rudy Gobert, coming in at number 57. He's dropped off a ton, 21 spots since his peak at 36 going into the year, and 34. Yeah, I mean, it seems like Gobert isn't as impactful as a defender this year. Still a good one. Still probably will finish top 5 in DPOY voting. Just, I don't know. It feels like as the rim protector he's been, it's not been what we've seen in the past. The offensive numbers are down a little bit, but I think it's just less touches for him inside because we know he's not doing anything offensively. Desmond Bane being high. This is high, 56. He was 47 going into the year. I'm surprised he hasn't dropped off much because it seems like those offensive guys that have had down years like Ingram, Murray, Michael Porter Jr. to an extent, like Barrett, they're all taking hits. I'm surprised that Desmond Bane is there at 56. He's been slightly disappointing this year. Draymond at 55. It's because of the defense and what he's able to do as kind of that middle linebacker on that end of the floor. Also still a phenomenal connecting piece, can get his teammates involved, good rebounder. And when he's locked in and he's not getting suspended, he's an incredible player. We got Draymond. We got Kristaps here at 54, the lowest he has been all year. He's only played, I think, like 17 games on the year. Last time I checked. And it's just, you never know when he's going to be healthy. He's still a great, like, three-point shooter for his size, and he's a good rim protector, and he's somebody that you can pull so far out onto the three-point line where the team's opposing center also has to be far out, and it opens up the paint for you. So I think his stats, or what his value doesn't always show up on the box score, and he's more valuable than we think. Tower Hero at 53, probably the highest he's been in quite some time. He should be an all-star consideration. I think he should be an all-star this year. I hope he gets in. Maybe it's a forward spot. Can we kind of finagle that a little bit? Probably not. But I think he also deserves all-NBA level. With everything going on with Jimmy Butler, shout out to him this year. We got Paul George at 52. This is probably the lowest. He had 23 going into the year. Now he's at 52. I mean, he's 35. Or what is he, 35? And he's got 2 notable injuries this year. Yeah, he's 34, sorry. He's going to be 35 in about, 100 days. So a little bit, at least till the end of the year. But, it's just multiple injuries. Looks a little different here in the Sixers offense. And maybe it's going to take more time for him to feel out what Wells Fargo Center is going to be. Just his different spots on the floor, playing with Embiid, playing with Maxey. But just hasn't looked like the same. Podcast Bro is one of his features. All right, so we got, all right, let's fight about it. Norman Powell versus Paul George. So that's pretty cool that they have this year. But Norman Powell, one spot ahead of Paul George, and he has been better than Paul George this year. So that's what I don't get. Like, it's not consistent. I know that they're probably just taking like an aggregate or like a consensus view here, and they're just taking the average of asking 6-7 people their top 100. But like, this is the first time ever Norman Powell has been better than Paul George, which he has been this year. But a lot of guys are better than Aaron Gordon this year, and they're giving him the benefit of the doubt. Same with Desmond Bane, same with Rudy Gobert. So I'm just struggling to find that consistency mark here. Jamal Murray coming in at number 50. He was 29 going into the year. He's been playing better as of late. Like, I tweeted out, and I just finished recording like my most disappointing players for the 2025 season video. A lot of people wanted Jamal Murray, but honestly, what we're getting from Jamal Murray this year, I think, has been way better than what we were scared of after the Olympics. And maybe that was, I did tweet that out before the Mavericks game where he posted his career high 45 points, but he's been really good. Basically since the start of December. Can I pull up his splits here? So basically in October, Jamal Murray, 18 points on 50% true shooting. November, 18 points on 53% true shooting. December, 22 points, 7 assists on 58% true shooting. Now he's above league average, and he's averaging 20 points on 59% true shooting in January. So I think we're seeing Murray play a little bit better as of late. Jared Allen at 49. I'm intrigued to see how many Cavs make the All-Star game, and we're going to have 4 Cavs in the top 50. See Drew Holiday at 48. That might be a Boston bias here. I don't know if Drew Holiday's played like a top 50 guy this year. For somebody that's been an elite 3-point shooter since basically his whole career, outside of maybe that 2018 season, or 2018-2019 in New Orleans, he's shooting 33% from 3 on 5 attempts. Like, it's not the best, and the defense is still there, but I don't know if he's going to finish on an all-defensive team this year. I think 48's high. Scotty Barnes at 47 is funny. It's funny because I had him ranked 47 going into the year. I got a lot of hate from Raptors fans about that, and then I'm like, you know what? If you wanted to say he was 40, I'm fine with that. If you wanted to say he was 35, I'd be like, all right, I'd push back on that a little bit. They have him at 47. We'll see where he finishes at the end of the year. But yeah, he's been around that range so far, and I think it's been tough with injuries for him this year, and I'm so high on Barnes going forward. There was a lot of Barnes versus Powell talk in the offseason, and I think we're kind of figuring out that answer. And yeah, I think Scotty's shot has taken a step back, and that was the thing I was scared about with Scotty Barnes. Now, this year could be on injuries, but Scotty, 30% as a rookie, 28% as a sophomore. Last year, as an all-star, 34% from 3 on 5 attempts. We look at the Florida State season from his freshman year. He shot, he shot 27% from 3 on 40 attempts, and it wasn't pretty at Florida State. And then he worked on it, and I still think there's true point forward ability there in Scotty's game. But I do worry about the 3-point shot. And I think that's what held me back from having him top 45. Zion at 46 seems a little, I mean, like, when he's out there, yeah, he's top 40, he's top 30, but when is he out there, right? It's kind of sad. OG at 45, I actually wanted to pull up OG's splits since he had that monster Nuggets game, because OG's still a very good defender. He got banged up in that Thunder game, so I wonder if he's feeling it. But yeah, since he had 40 points against the Nuggets on November 25th, he's averaging 14 points. Oh my God, 43% from the field and 28% from 3. Interesting. Like, great defender, but definitely need OG to step up offensively. I kind of want to tweet that out, honestly. Zach LaVine coming in at 44, incredible offensive talent. You want to, oh man. So I recently bet on Zach LaVine to get, I think it was 30 points when they were playing the Pelicans the other night. And of course, he gets 30 points in basically every game over his last 6. And then the time I bet him, he had 2 points at halftime. He did finish with 25 though. But yeah, is some team going to trade for Zach LaVine? He's just making a ton of money, which makes it difficult to do. Marketing at 43. I don't know if he's been that high this year. He's only dropped 4 spots over the year. But guys behind Marketing, would I take ahead of him this year? Zion, it's tough. But Scotty, I don't know. Yeah, I guess like who behind him will I take? This tier of guys have been a little bit worse. I think Tower Hero has been better than Marketing this year. And I don't think that's really a debate. Jalen Johnson coming in at 42. Man, I want to see him healthy again. I do, because he's so much fun to watch on both ends of the floor with the athleticism, the shot making, the playmaking. I want to see Jalen Johnson back out there. He may be the best player Trae Young has ever played with. Yeah, and I'm saying he's been better than DeJounte Murray was the last 2 years. Embiid at 41. Oh, the fall off. He was 5 at the start of the year. 5. It's just he can't stay healthy, man. He's only played, 13 games this year? He may play Saturday against the Pacers. Just missed another game against the Knicks as... What are the Sixers? 5 games under 500. They are, no, 8 games under 500. What are they? 9 games under 500. They're 15 and 24. They're the 11th seed in the Eastern Conference. Okay, so they have a whole fight thing on Dereck White and Joel Embiid. Dereck White coming in at number 40. Dereck White, I mean, I love what Dereck White brings you. I do. Defensively, offensively, knowing his spots, the playmaking, doesn't turn the ball over a ton. He kind of a little bit for his role, but it's just super efficient, great shot blocker, and we're having an Embiid Dereck White debate. It's kind of crazy. So coming in at 39, we have Jimmy Butler of the Miami Heat. Yeah, where do you put Jimmy, right? Because even when he's been out there, it just hasn't looked like the Jimmy of the past, and he just didn't look locked in, and now it's looking like we're going to see him on a different team next year. We got Pascal Siakam at 38, who's been super consistent this year offensively, and has probably been the most consistent pacer. And I feel like Siakam has been better than Haliburton this year, who we haven't seen yet. Şengün, who I think has been stepping up defensively as of late. I would like for the efficiency to be a little bit better because he hasn't been a good shooter this year. So like 54% true shooting from a big is a little rough for the role he's going to play. But I do like what he's been doing defensively as of late, which I think is very encouraging. Kawhi Leonard coming in at 36. I'm surprised he's taken a bigger or less of a hit than Embiid. Like he's dropped, 18 spots since the start of the year. Embiid has dropped 36 spots and Embiid has played more. So I don't know. I guess hopefully Kawhi is healthy throughout the rest of the year. Chet is 35. Chet has been hurt since the start of the year, but obviously looked great before he went down, and hopefully he is going to be back soon. Harden at 34 seems kind of high, but he has been a good 3-point shooter. I mean, the true shooting is around league average. It's a little bit below, but the shots he takes are very tough because he has been, like, him and Norman Powell have been carrying this offense without Kawhi Leonard. Garland at 33, I love to see, because Garland has been basically like, I threw up modern day Steve Nash, but he's been 50, 40, 90 basically this year. 20 points, 7 assists. That's really good numbers, man. That really is. And he's just able to carry this offense at times and be able to be that primary initiator. And he's better than Bam. Bam coming in at 32. Obviously, it helps out a ton of his defense. But Bam has been disappointing this year, and Garland has been better. Jaren Jackson Jr., 31, maybe should be higher the way he's playing on both ends of the floor this year, because he's been a very good all-star level talent offensively and is still a great defender. Maxey at 30, I think Garland's better than Maxey this year. I do. I think Garland's better than Maxey. I know Maxey's put up some more points, I do. I don't think they're that different defensively. And I think I prefer Garland's efficiency and playmaking a little bit more than Maxi's. Trae Young coming in at 29, who at times has struggled to shoot the ball this year, but he has been better as of late. He had, I think, was sick the other night and then dropped like 30 plus points. And he's now the veteran. He's the leader on this Hawks team going forward. Cade at 28. See, like we're putting a lot of stock into Cade's year. He started off 54. He's at 28. And Cade has been playing like, I think, a top 12, 14 talent this year. So that's putting him up pretty high. Dame at 27. It's nice to see Dame bounce back after kind of like a poor second half last year. Like once he was named All-Star starter, it seemed like his play dropped off a little bit. But Dame has been a very good offensive talent this year. Halliburton's too high. Halliburton's actually gone up 7 spots. Who's been better? No. Halliburton has been very good pretty much since like mid-December. I think Cade has been better though. I think Dame has been better than him this year. I think Trae has been better than Halliburton. Yeah. Maxey, it's TBD, but I think Garland has also been better than Halliburton this year. So I kind of disagree with that, but I know Halliburton just led his team to the ECF. LaMelo at 25, I know he's putting up the points, and same thing about what I said earlier with Brandon Miller, like not a lot of guys are able to do this on Charlotte where he's at having to take a ton of shots, but man, there has been kind of some games where I'm watching some of the shot selections and the shot died, and we can look at his like field goals over his last few games. 21, 25, 28. He took 16 and 17 threes, 20 field goals. He took 32 shots against the Wizards. 34% from the field, 16% from three. Oh my God, man. It makes me like spaz out with some of the efficiency with the volume he's been taking. I think LaMelo's a little too high at 25. I think Darius Garland's a better player. Kyrie at 24. I'm fine with that. Kyrie's been insanely efficient this year. Still takes great shots. Still one of the best ball handlers in the league. I'm fine with that. Franz at 23. A lot of love to Franz here, who hasn't played in a little bit. But I think Franz, when he was healthy this year, was an all-star talent. So you want to have him around that top 24. I'm good with that. Mobley at 22. It seems like they do value defense a decent amount. That's why I'm surprised, like LaMelo, they're at 25. But yeah, Evan Mobley there at 22. I like a ton. Taking a step as a shooter this year, as a ball handler, and obviously he's an elite defender. Jalen Williams at 21. I think Mobley's a little bit better than J-Dub. I do. Like, he's only averaging one more point, and I wonder if they're far apart in shots per game. Like, if I looked at what Jalen Williams is getting, and those may go down when Chet comes back, but he's taking around 17 shots a night. What does Evan Mobley take? I don't think it's 17. I could be wrong. 12 shots a night, and he's only a point behind. He's taking 5 less shots per game. Yeah, I don't know. I think Evan Mobley has been better than J-Dub this year, who's coming in at 21. But I love J-Dub. Sabonis at 20, still putting up a typical Sabonis year. I think it's still underrated because of the market, and maybe his game isn't as sexy to a lot of people, but he was asked to take more threes, and he's knocking down 47% of them. Fox, one spot ahead of him at 19. I think Sabonis has been better than Fox this year. Maybe. Kings fans, you can let me know what you think. Devin Booker at 18, dropped off a little bit. The efficiency has been pretty bad, kind of like the worst it's been since like third year in the NBA. So we'll see how that bounces back. He's rattled off some nice games as of late. But this Suns team has some issues. Ja Morant at 17, that's high. I think a lot of guys behind Ja are having better years, and that's fine because Ja is coming off a major season-ending injury last year and has been banged up this year. But I think this is pretty high at 17. Paolo at 16, I mean, it's such a small sample size this year, but he has looked top 20, top 10 when he's played, but it's just been a small sample. Jaylen Brown at 15 is, I think, too high. He's dropped 3 spots. Jaylen Brown's efficiency this year has been not the best, and the defense isn't like all defensive caliber, in my opinion, like it was last year, because it was up there. 45 from the field, 32 from 3, 75 from the line. Like, what's his true shooting on the year? Jaylen Brown's true shooting is at 54%. And he's getting paid supermax money, which we're going to hold him to a higher standard now, and he's finals MVP. I don't think he's been that great this year. Like, 15th good. I think he's probably more 20 and 25. Like, I don't even know if he's going to be an all-star. He may be one, because he is averaging 24 and 6 on the Boston Celtics. LeBron, it's 14. I mean, the fact that he's in this conversation at 40 is mind-blowing. It really is. Karl-Anthony Towns at 13. I think he should be higher than this, but you know what? He's gone up a decent amount. We haven't gotten to Brunson yet, so wow, they're going to have Brunson higher than all the guards we talked about. Lillard, Cade. I don't know. I think Brunson should be behind Cat. I don't know, though. Maybe not, but I just think he should be closer to, like, Cade and them. Cade and them, right? But Cat is averaging 25 and 14 this year and is having the best year of his career. Mitchell at 12. Who's having maybe the worst year of his career, but honestly, it's more so letting Mobley and Garland cook and giving them their run in this offense, because I think Mitchell has still been as impactful as he's been in the past. It's just on less volume, because I feel like he's probably taking less shots per game. Mitchell is taking 18 shots per game, the lowest since his rookie season. So that checks out. Anthony Edwards at 11. So yeah, they have Jalen Brunson one spot ahead at Ant. So Ant at 11 was like Steph Curry to start off the year. Cooled off a little bit as of late, but is still an incredible talent. I don't know. I think I would still take him over Brunson. Maybe that's just like the age and the potential in my mind. But Brunson, he had like a rough stretch after that 55 point performance against the Wizards. He was incredible against the Sixers in overtime. And I know people think his game is like a little foul hunty. I get that because he's a smaller dude. So he kind of flares his head back a little bit and kind of does that thing where if you're in his jumping zone and he jumps up, but kind of like lean backs a little bit, he's going to try to get into you. And that would be technically a foul. But he dropped, 30 something against the Sixers last night on 9 free throws, knocked down 7 of them. It's more ethical than you think. Podcast Bro is one of his features. We got 80 at 9, which I'm fine with. 80's been a great two-way player. Curry at 8. Am I lower on Curry than everybody else? I don't know if Curry should be top 10. And that's fine. Curry's still a top 20 player in the league, but it's just not the same Steph as it's been in the past. Like the scoring's down a little bit. The I think 2-point percentage is the lowest it's been since 2013. That's a little I think notable. Still like an elite free throw shooter and 3-point shooter. It's just I don't know. Getting up there in age, sad to say. KD at 7, who also isn't slowing down whatsoever. Still an incredible scorer. And then we have Victor Wembanyama at 6, which I'm okay with because of the defensive impact. He's better defensively than KD and Steph. He might be better defensively than AD, which is unreal because AD is one of the best defenders in the sport. And Wemby, it feels like, puts up a different stat line every night. Tatum at 5, the anomaly. Somebody on Twitter was trying to give him some type of nickname. Tatum, I would like to see him like run away in an MVP talks, but like he finished on All NBA first team last year, but I feel like was never close to Jokic, Luka, and Shea in those talks at the end of the year. And this year, it's kind of fizzled out a little bit, but as the Celtics are hitting somewhat of a rough patch, I'd like to see him showcase that he could be a top 5 player in the sport and not be a very good player. And it helps that he's playing on a very good team. Luka at 4. He's dropped from 2. I don't know why he was ever ranked ahead of Giannis. As Giannis is now 2, Shea is 3, and Jokic is 1. I think at the end of the year, if Shea does win MVP, we can have talks that he is better than Luka. I don't think Shea is better than Giannis. I don't think Shea is better than Jokic. If he wins MVP, though, he gets it before Luka does. And if they go to the NBA Finals, like Luka has done that once, but they would be tied for the amount. If the Thunder win it all this year, and like Shea realistically could win MVP and Finals MVP in the same year, and then I think he's 3. And that honestly, though, if he wins Finals MVP, he could be 2 or 1, which I'm ready for. Like, I'd be cool for a guard to have like the top spot in the league, and that is it. That is their top 100 players updated. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know what you agree with or disagree with on YouTube, or if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you can let me know on Twitter, or I think Spotify's got that comment section as well. You can hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Let me know what you guys think. Hope you guys did enjoy. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.